I'm Elise Gamson.
And I'm Logan Price. Welcome to our March KUBZ broadcast.
In this episode, we will look at the nationwide school walkout, high school stress, changing school policy, esports, and other school news. Logan, do you ever get stressed?
Oh, all the time. About the littlest stuff, too.
Right? Anyway, what do you think other people get stressed out about?
I don't know, but my good friend Levi knows.
What's up, Sedro-Woolley High School? We are here today with the burning question of what stresses you out about high school. A lot of people are stressed by a lot of different things, but we wanted to know what is the crowning jewel of stress here at the high school. Let's go.
The thing that stresses me out most about high school is just the constant, you're working at school and then you go home and then you're like given more work, so like you're kind of never given a break.
What stresses me out at high school the most is, final exams, catching up on homework, and let's say you miss school. Well, for example, like PE, I love PE, but catching up on PE, that sucks.
The thing that stresses me out most about high school is probably the homework.
One thing that really stresses me out is the amount of homework that I get from all these 8-period classes. I don't usually get that anymore, but it's still pretty stressful to think about.
So far, nothing has really stressed me out about high school.
Being stressed does impact my learning, I would say, because if I'm doing homework for one class and I have to separate a certain amount of time for just that one class and I don't have enough time for other classes, then that can just mess everything up.
Stress does impact my learning. It sort of puts it above everything else, and I guess that's what stress is supposed to do, is to make sure that you prioritize what needs to be done. But yeah, it did impact everything else in my life.
The thing that probably surprisingly stressed me out the most is just how much I care about my grades, because I've never really cared about my grades before, but now that I'm in high school, I actually care about them a lot more than I thought I would.
What would stress me out the most in high school that I probably would never think would have? Oof, that's a tough one, man. Just walking into a classroom or standing in front of the class and doing a speech or something like that, because I hate being in the center of attention. I hate when people look at me and they're judging me.
Well, you heard it from the source. People can be stressed about pretty much anything. Back to you guys.
Well, it's good to know that we aren't the only ones who get stressed out.
It really is a relief. But let's take a look at some of the other stories.
Which day is it?
I'm pretty sure it's Late Start Wednesday.
Dang, I wish it would just be Friday already. Wouldn't it be cool if we had Late Start Fridays?
That would be cool. Let's switch over to Emma and see what the rest of our peers think.
We all love Late Start Wednesdays, but would we rather have them Wednesdays or Fridays? Let's take a look. Would you rather have Late Start Wednesdays or Late Start Fridays?
Honestly, I would rather have Late Start Wednesdays because I already have my schedule set for everything, and it doesn't interfere with my way of transportation or after school activities anymore. So I would rather have a set schedule than have to change everything to a day later in the week. There's literally no pros. Kids will skip Fridays. Anything beneficial to Late Start Friday or Late Start Wednesday, unless you're just a procrastinator, somebody that just wants an extra hour of sleep. That's really the only thing.
That's tough, but I would do Late Start Fridays because I like Fridays and I want to sleep, and Friday's my good day, so I won't be in as bad of a mood. So Fridays. I think Late Start Fridays would be beneficial because I think most of the student body would just agree, because we all like Friday, and I don't know.
That was a very torn argument between Late Start Wednesdays or Late Start Fridays. Now back to the studio.
Wasn't that interesting?
Definitely. I would really like some half-day Fridays too.
Hey Logan, what do you know about the walkout?
Nothing. What is it?
Our school joined schools across the nation in remembrance of the kids who were lost in the Florida shooting. Let's go to Mackenzie Hamilton with more on the topic.
This is Mackenzie Hamilton. I'm here to talk about the tragedy that recently struck our nation. The shooting that happened on February 14th has caused schools and businesses to walk out in hopes to make a statement and say that enough is enough.
My name is Bella Boggs.
Mrs. Carlton.
My name is Jared Snodgrass.
Ellie Hawkins.
Brennan Blau.
Name?
I'm Megan Benham.
My name is Helena Braze.
My name is Lexi Rodriguez-Padilla.
No, I did not participate in the walkout.
No, I did not.
Yes, I participated in the walkout.
No, I did not walk out.
No, I did not walk out.
I did not walk out.
I did not participate in the walkout. I wasn't even here actually that day. I was at a conference.
Yes, I've done a very large part in organizing it and making sure it is all under control.
I walked out for the memorial and for gun control. I just think that it shouldn't be so easy for people who have
I thought that it was not a very effective way. They need a lot more change than just a couple hundred kids walking out in the middle of Sedro-Woolley.
What difference, but I didn't think it was necessarily the way to change anything.
Well, the walkout is a national movement happening around the country, and I decided that it'd be a good idea to try to organize one with the help of a couple of my peers in Sedro-Woolley High School in order to raise awareness, to protest the inaction from lawmakers on gun control legislations, and show the Florida kids that we support them and everything that they're doing.
I just didn't feel like it would be an effective way to really spread concern about gun violence.
I thought it was kind of wasted time because it didn't really affect that much.
Personally, I don't think that teachers should be carrying guns because that's not exactly what I think teachers should be focusing on. They should be more focused on our education.
A teacher's purpose in a school environment is simply to teach students. There are many cases where a teacher being armed is not going to help anything, especially because a lot of teachers aren't as fit as students, and if a student really had the desire to take that gun, they could easily overrun that teacher and take a gun and shoot it. There was actually an instance earlier this week where a teacher who was licensed to carry a gun fired a bullet inside a school and the school was forced to evacuate. There was no harms, luckily, but that's just proof that it's not a good idea and that so much harm can come out of this.
I, on a personal level, would not be able to have a weapon at school. I just wouldn't be able to do that, obviously. I don't think that I'd be able to be protective, but that's me personally. But as far as kind of like if that becomes a thing, as long as the individuals were really well trained and that was something that happened, you know, if it discourages people from coming and shooting at my kids, then yes. You know, I don't know. That's a tough one for me.
I do not believe that teachers should be able to carry firearms because a lot of them aren't trained to do it. And even if they are going to be trained, I can't imagine doing a math lesson and having my teacher have a gun right next to him. It doesn't make sense, and it's not practical either.
Thank you.
It's a dumb idea to have guns on teachers. They're not mentally prepared or physically prepared to handle weapons like that.
Mixed feelings about it. On one point, I feel like it would be a good idea, but there need to be really serious background checks on it. Because if a teacher wasn't fit to carry a weapon and like they could turn psycho and shoot up the school, that'd be a very bad thing. But if they did have the capacity to carry one, I think that the classroom would be a safer environment if it was a trusting teacher that would do the right thing with it.
Personally, I don't think that teachers should be carrying guns because that's not exactly what I think teachers should be focusing on. They should be more focused on our education.
What other actions could be taken besides the walkout?
I think that teachers should not be able to have guns because they could go psycho or something like that and shoot kids.
I do know that there is a March for Lives happening. I think it either happened last weekend or this weekend, and I think it's just another way to raise awareness.
There's so much we can do, but I think starting is just walking up to people that are sitting by themselves or just being nice to everybody around you and focusing more on being kind to people than on protesting.
Mental health help for younger students, more personnel in schools to help with the mental health piece,
some schools were wanting like an SRO, which is a school resource officer.
Other actions besides the walkout, we could always improve our positivity in the school, help and also write to our senators and legislators to get laws changed for gun control, because it is an issue.
I'm sort of a fan of checking in on different students, kind of especially ones that I feel have troubles or issues. I feel like that is a bigger focus in my world, or in my opinion. I think that it's really important to put together some kind of just really some great ideas for interacting with some of our kids that sort of feel like they need extra help and attention, and finding a way to work towards that. So I think there's got to be some kind of compromise we can make as a country, and adults need to step up and do something for our kids. I think that's really, really important.
Harder background checks to get guns would be a good idea, but besides that, I'm not sure.
It's kind of up to the people that have guns what they should do.
The people that take the guns in the first place aren't usually crazy, so it's usually the crazy people take normal people's guns. There are already a ton of stuff they have to go through anyway. So.
My opinion on gun control is that right now there is none. We need more extensive background checks, which is what this movement is advocating for, and a ban on many assault rifles and high-capacity magazines.
For me personally, when I heard about the Florida shooting, it literally destroys your heart. I mean, 17 children and adults lost their lives senselessly. So same thing I would be said about the Las Vegas shooting that occurred. I mean, what a horrible situation to even experience or go through and understand. And so it's hard not to get sad when you hear events like this.
It makes it really real, because it could happen here or anywhere, and it happens all the time, and so it's just another situation that shouldn't be happening.
Well, just like the many shootings, breaks my heart. I imagine all of you, and can't imagine it. So for me, any shooting that has happened at our schools, or our mall, or any of our local things, has really been troubling me. Of course, as a mom and as a teacher. I mean, I have kids here. I have other kids I love here, and and I'm here. So it's got a huge impact on my life. I get really sad about it. Struggle.
The Florida shooting didn't affect me personally, but I think it affected everyone, that it's happening again and again, and it hasn't stopped, and it's an issue that needs to be addressed, and that people are just ignoring.
It kind of affected me on how I've had relatives that have been shot by other people, so it kind
of. It made me kind of scared to kind of go to school, because it impacts so many people in Florida, and I'm scared it's going to happen here.
After hearing all the students' opinions, does your opinion still stand strong?
What a touching story.
Now on to the next interesting story.
As we all know, Donald Trump is our president, and here's what some students and staff think about his first year. Let's think nationwide, not school-wide. We're here to discuss the most polarizing figure in America, Donald Trump. Let's see what the staff and students have to say about the first year of the 45th president.
We need to build a wall.
My opinion on Donald Trump is that he's very unfit for our president and a very mean person in general.
He's a very polarizing figure with regard to policies. Some I agree with and some I don't. It's pretty simple.
I think he's doing great things for the economy. Should be invested. Investments are paying off. If you like a good economy, you like Donald Trump. He could watch what he says a little bit. I think he's too eager to be offensive. I think he thinks it's funny to be offensive.
He is a very honest and blunt person, and he wants the best for the United States of America, and I think that he is the best thing this country needs right now.
Let's say China.
Again, I like what he's doing with my investments. The economy is growing. I was hoping he was going to let the Russians take more of the lead in the war against Syria. Instead, there's conflict with the Russians in Syria now.
I think it's been successful because, I mean, he's created a lot of jobs and stuff, and that's, you know, the economy's doing really well.
I'm really rich.
Ideally, I'd like to see him impeached. Considering how much lying he does over oath, he's actually lied more than in his first term that Obama did in his entire presidency. I would like to see him impeached, considering how it's an impeachment if you lie under oath.
I believe that Trump will get re-elected if the time is right.
Sounds like we have some pretty strong opinions about the Trumpster in his first year in office. What will his future and the future of our country look like? Only time will tell. Now back to the studio.
Thanks, Logan. Now on to the next story. Man, we're almost 3/4 of the way through the year.
I know, right? I can't wait for summer.
I wonder how the freshmen are doing.
Well, let's check in with Jonathan and see how they're doing.
Here's some of the opinions and struggles freshmen have with the school year.
The style of teaching at the high school is, right now from what I'm seeing, it just kind of depends on the teacher who's teaching it. But right now it's pretty good.
In most of the classrooms is really hostile. I could actually see it being a lot better.
Well, some teachers, I think, teach differently and worse, but a lot of the teachers, I like how they teach.
I believe that the teachers at CMS actually over-prepared us to come to the high school, and I believe that we were all like very capable of coming to the high school, and they over-exaggerated how bad it was going to be here.
I was not prepared to go into high school because my middle school experience was not amazing. My high school experience was not amazing. So I'd have to say a crisp 7 out of 10.
I was prepared for the transition to the high school because, you know, the high school felt kind of the same to the middle school, you know, for me.
When they took away Power Hour, I absolutely hated it because I actually go to classes to make up tests and I miss a lot of school, so Power Hour makes everything a lot easier.
My opinion was, honestly, I didn't really care. As long as I got to all my class and I got all my work done.
Well, I didn't really like Power Hour because I never kept track of it. And I got in trouble a lot, so when they took it away, I was kind of happy because I didn't have to worry about Power Hour.
When they took away Power Hour, I was pretty heated. I was ready to throw some hands because that's the time where I just like to get things done, and it was gone. So that was a little tearjerker.
My advice to the future freshmen is to work hard.
No, I don't. They can figure it out for themselves. Surprised.
I don't have any advice for future freshmen. You're on your own, man.
Advice for future freshmen is just to go to school, and because if you don't go to school, you're practically missing 2 days because of the block schedule, and you just get so far behind off of just 1 day, really.
Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks for that, Jonathan. Now let's get on to the next story.
Have you ever wanted to change a school rule or policy?
So have other students. Here's Garrett and Kristen with the story.
Hey guys, we interviewed a couple students and teachers about what changes they would like to make in the school and why. Here it is.
Hi, my name is Riley Gamson and I'm in 12th grade, and if I could change one thing about the school next year, it would be that to make it easier to waive PE credits if we do sports.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Lekka and I'm running to be your ASB Vice President. If elected, something I would change to Sedro-Woolley High School would be having more field trips to colleges. Lots of people don't know what their plan is after high school or what career they're interested in. By having events, field trips, and even classes where they motivated students and help them realize what they're passionate about and determine their vocation, then many more students will have an even more successful future.
Hi, I'm Hillary Knight, and I would open the campus to high-achieving students at lunch.
My name is Sarah Hull, I'm in 12th grade, and if I could change one thing about the school, I would change students not being able to park by the performing arts because that's where most of my classes are, and it kind of sucks that I have to walk all the way across campus to attend most of my classes.
My name is CJ Bowers. If I was part of the administrative staff in Sedro High School, I would probably just change the lunches a little bit. Well, because they're really small. There's like 6 nuggets, and I don't like 6 nuggets. I like 12 nuggets, and that'd be really nice.
Thank you for watching, and a special thank you to those who we interviewed for sharing their ideas. Now back to the studio.
It's so great to hear the ideas people have on improving our school.
Hey Elise, have you heard of Mr. Dilly's new club?
No, I haven't.
Well, let's get on to the next story about Mr. Dilly's new club.
Hey Sedro-Woolley, up next we have a story on our new esports team and gaming club. We're going to interview a couple of the players and see how they like it.
What got you into esports?
What got me into esports is when my friend needed another player because they kept on missing games. And the team that I joined in was Rocket.
What got me in esports was I liked how I always view like Overwatch League on Twitch, twitch.tv/Overwatch League, and they're professional. They're really good at what they do, and I feel like if I can do that, then I'll have some sense of accomplishment.
I play Rocket League, Rainbow Six Siege, and PUBG.
I play Overwatch, and I'm planning to go into Rocket League next season.
For people that want to join the team, please do, because we kind of need more players.
Do consider esport players as athletes because they rely more on their teamwork and muscle memory as opposed to physical fitness. And yeah.
Well, that was our story on the gaming club. If you want to join, contact Mr. Dilly in room 218.
And that's all we have for today. Thanks for joining the KUBZ broadcast.
We'll see you next time.